Welcome to another AVA equipment video review. Today we are going to review this B.Braun Perfusor Space syringe driver. This is a quite new syringe driver. It's very compact and it has some interesting features. On the front we have the drive head, the syringe holder and this panel that can be opened, and it has a is kept in place by magnets. So on the left side of the panel we have 3 LED. They can turn yellow to give a pre-alarm or a reminder alarm, green if the pump is infusing, red if there is a device or an operating alarm, and blue if the pump is connected to space control. And then there is this LCD screen. On the other side there are these 4 arrows key, a reset button, an OK button, a bolus button, this button that's used to link the pump to space control, and a start and stop infusion button, and an on and off button. On the left side of the pump there is this button here that's used to release the pump from the pump that's underneath. So we can have this pump piled up in this way. They are very safe. It's pretty much impossible to unlock this pump if these buttons are not pressed, and they can be transported around and carried around without any issue, and that's very interesting. As you can see here, there is this gap because this one is a volumetric pump, is an infusion mat space that has a smaller footprint than the perfusor space. So we can mix up volumetric and syringe drivers, or use just syringe drivers or just volumetric pump. And this is pretty useful to put the pumps back into the space station and to have them piled up in a very neat way without cables around, because just one power lead from the space station to the wall is required, and we are gonna have our dispensary or wherever we keep our pumps very neat, and we're gonna save a lot of space. So that's pretty interesting. So we can press this button and slide the pump backward to release it. Let's go back to our perfusor space. On the back we have these 2 connectors and a battery cover that can be opened here. This one is called P3 port and it's going to be used in the future for other accessories, and this one is a P2 port that used for power supply, space station, for the power cord, combi lead, and further accessories. Going back to the front, we can turn on our pump. So here, as you can see, the self-test is active and it's performing it, and here it gives us the settings for date and time. So the drive is opening, and now it's going to test also the clothes that are used to hold the syringe plunger plate. We pull the syringe holder, we open the panel, we place the syringe and we close it. As soon as we close it, I'm going to show you this interesting part. As soon as we close it, we have this blade here that comes out from the syringe holder to keep the plunger still when the drive head is closing, so that no drug can be injected accidentally during this operation. So the pump recognizes the syringe. Obviously, your service specialist has to select the syringes that you use in your clinic or in your hospital, and then the pump is gonna recognize it. We can press OK, and the drive is closing. As soon as the close, the blade is retracted inside the syringe holder. So now the pump asks if we want to use a drug library that a service specialist can upload inside the pump, and we decide no. So here we are in the main menu. We can set a rate. We can either press the left arrow or the OK button to enter the sub-menus. It's pretty easy to select a rate. We don't have to go through all the digits to so we don't have to go from 1 to 9 and then arrive to 10, but we can go up without pretty easily without having to do that. We can also delete our entry pressing this button, so reset the digits to 0, and then we can go back to our main menu. We can set the volume to be infused. We can set the time of the infusion, so we can infuse for a certain time. Here we could enter the special functions if our service specialist enable them, and this special so in our case we don't have them available, but we have several special functions such as dosing units and dose rate calculation. We can set a drug library. We can have a target controlled infusion, and also a dose over time infusion. Here we have the other options, so we can set the pressure. We can go to from 1 to 9, so 9 levels of pressure, and here the pump gives us the millimeters of mercury of pressure for every level of pressure. Here we can set the data lock. Data lock is a feature that has 2 different levels. So the first one, it can be turned off, or we can set it to 1 or 2. So the first level, if we select the first level, a modification of values as well as a bolus application are not possible, but we can change the syringe, and it's possible to navigate through all the menus, and the status data can be checked. We can start, interrupt, and switch the pump off. With the level 2, we have all the same as the level 1, and the pump, but the pump will not allow to change the syringe. So let's keep it off. We can also cancel the alarm as you saw here, pressing this button. So if an alarm comes up, we can cancel it with this button. So here we can set the bolus rate. We can enable or disable the keep the vein open mode. We can also select the alarm volume. We can change the date and time as well. So we also have the status option menu, where we can see the current status of the pump. So let's select a rate and let's start the infusion. So we have two indicators that the infusion is running. This one on the LCD screen and the green LED, and we also have the volume that has been infused here. Here we have the pressure inside the line indicator and the battery level indicator. If we want to start the bolus, be careful, don't press this button. So this is a something that happened to me. You see the arrows and you think, well, this can be used to give a bolus or to purge the line and before connecting it to the patient, but no, this is just to connect to space control. So be careful, this one is the button that you want to press. As you can see, another interesting thing is that there is a backlight, so that we can see this button even if we are in a quite dark setting. So they turn on just the LCD screen, and the buttons turn on just when we press on them. So we can give the bolus, but as you see here, the rate is the same or higher than the bolus rate. So so we cannot really give a bolus. So let's change the rate, but this is something that we can change in the previous menu. As I show you, we can go in the option menu and change it. So let's do that. Options menu, bolus rate, let's put 300. Let's go back, let's put it to 30 as before, start the infusion, and now we can give the bolus. So we select the mLs that we want to give, let's say. So yeah, here we have a software limitation, so we cannot give bolus volume higher than 50 ml, but this can be changed by your service specialist. Anyway, so now the pump is giving the alarm that we are not interacting with it. So we set the rate, we set the time. Obviously, as soon as we change the time, the infusion rate is going to change, and the pump is gonna show it on top. And then we press bolus, and the pump is going to start the bolus. We can stop it pressing OK, and we go back to the previous infusion rate. We can change the infusion rate while we are infusing as well. And here, if we press the up and down arrows while the pump is infusing, we can switch between volume that has been infused, the time elapsed, how much time we have left before that their syringe is going to be empty. And here the pressure inside the line. I don't know if no, well, as you see, and we go back to the volume. So we can stop the infusion, and we can, if we decide to, let's say, change the syringe, we just pull the syringe holder, the drive automatically opens, and we remove the syringe. We can put the syringe back, and if you don't put the syringe in the right way, obviously it's not going to recognize it. So it's also pretty quick. It's not taking ages to change the syringe. I think that's pretty much it. We can open this if we didn't start an infusion yet, and the pump is going to ask if we want to perform the change or not. So if we press yes, the pump drive is going to open. So we can put the syringe holder back, and we can press for 3 seconds to turn it off, and the drive head is going back to parking mode, to parking position. I think that this pump is really cool. Obviously it's automatic, so it's something that it has several different automated mechanism, and you know, they may be more prone to have problems, but you know, still, this is an amazing pump. It's very compact. Looks pretty solid to me, but you know, somebody may argue that all these automatisms can have more problems than old stuff, let's say. So I think that's really it for today. Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, and thank you for watching.